Hi, this is Kathy Vick, Deeply Awake, and for those of you who have come along for the party, I figured it best for me to just, to just turn on the camera and then begin, really. So, isn't that what I've been doing since the beginning? Really? And maybe that was the whole point all along. Really? And maybe that's why I met the teachers. Maybe. And met my first psychic when I was still in high school, because I had problems attending to too much that others didn't notice. You know, could be. And maybe that's why this guy in a book visited me when I was a kid. I think it was so I could turn on a camera and express something I know to be divine. Maybe I no longer can carry the mindset that I might be delusional or grandiose or neurotic or crippled by some sort of loneliness that created dissociation and fugue states. Those are all things that I think could be said about me, really. Except that I have proof. Really. I mean, how else do you explain everything? How do you explain that I look different than I did? That I act different than I did? Well, some would say, well, it's just the meaning you're assigning to it. Everybody goes through those kind of things. Yeah, that's true. A lot of people do. My dad did, and he taught me how to do it. It was amazing to watch this transformation. Shocking. And many from the old time don't even know they're talking to the same person. There's a good story about that. Really good story. The customer came into his store, and Dad was, hanging out doing his thing at the desk, probably. Whatever, he's always busy. And this guy came, and he got his part. And then I guess they were wrapping things up or whatever. He asked, so whatever happened to the owner of this place? And Dad just told me the story the last time we ate together. And Dad said, well, tell me about him. What do you remember about him? And the guy said, well, he had long hair. He had a perm. He wore a black leather jacket. And he was mean as a snake. And Dad smiled and said, yeah, that was me. Huh. That was way back when. That's quite a transformation. It's especially a shocking one to do while remaining in place. I mean, shocking, really. And a testament to his strength and his devotion and his ability to express so amazingly, so lovingly, as a parent, as a husband, and as a son. It would have been hard to do. And a lot easier to just say, I'm cutting and running. But I had to watch him, and I had to learn from him, and I did. I was an eager student, and he's taught me well, and I love him. So it always worries me that he's going to judge this as craziness, because it's just not. And if it is, I thought this in 12. All right. I saw the eye of God in my living room. And it's funny, I feel better now about everything. And I feel like peaceful. And I didn't feel that way before. And I'm having new thoughts, and I have a lot of hope. I didn't have any before. So even though it might mean that I'm going to dress different, and that some things might not interest me anymore and others may really fascinate me, I think this is the way to go. And there's no one in my head, really, who's going to jail me, who's going to punish me. I'm not going to do that to myself anymore. And because of that, then I think I need to just follow this. Because I remember this feeling. I know what this is. I was trained. I had 2 years of it. I had 2 years of it. I had an amazing amount of instruction on 12-strand DNA and reality creation and ancient history. And yet I could go in there and I'd need help about a boyfriend or whatever, or girlfriend or whatever. And within about 2 or 3 minutes, I couldn't remember what it was that was bothering me. It didn't matter anymore. It happened every single time. And I sat in pure love. It's the only place I ever went where I knew all of me was really, really beautiful. It was the only place ever for me. And I think that's why I missed them so much. And I kept recreating it, and it just... I never could, or they never could, or I got mad, or I got scared. I got so demanding because I was so scared. I felt so alone because I had known it once in the physical, just a glimmer of it, but it was so real, and it was like protection. I was finally safe. It was an astounding weekend, walking around Golden. Astounding. I never felt safe before, and it felt really good. And then I felt it again. But it was real, and it only cost $60 an hour, and it seemed that it was going to be going on for a long time. So I was finally okay again. I still have that feeling when I look out the window or stand in grass or eat a salad or eat a steak or smoke or make love or kiss really deep, long. I haven't had one of those in so long. Like one of those soul-to-soul ones that you say with your mouth and your tongue. I think that's what I've been praying for. And I think that's what I realized last night. In a safe, pure, wise and delicious reality that a friend of mine creates in a home that isn't even hers on some Friday nights. But, that's all right. She hasn't led me wrong once. She's the one who told me about the crystal cave. She's like a guardian angel or something. It's really weird. Nice, but, come on. Can you say synchronicity? I was talking to my friend Eva, and we agreed that some of the most profound, life-altering relationships that occur happen. You don't really know how they came into your life, really. Wait, how did that happen again? I don't know. I don't know who told me about Gail? How did I get in front of them? I don't know. There's some, like Diane, my, twin. We're magnetic sisters, we say. Golly. I remember darn well how I met her, but in the physical, it turns out my teacher had trained her teacher in the church that has as its Bible the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus Christ, and their prayer is the Alice Bailey prayer, and their works are new channels from the Ascended Masters. And for some reason, they decided to take the name of the Great White Brotherhood. Ew. But that's just a way to offend the easily offended. What better way to protect pearls? What better way? Bravo. So, it all makes crazy sense. It's all what happened. Why would I lie? So anyway, I'm having all these revelations, and I referenced it, and I may not even go through. I did a video that talked about my experience last night. Regardless of how it happened. Regardless. That's not true. That's not true. How it happened was really important. And what happened was even more important. A series of stair-step realizations. You can't do it all at once. It's not possible. That's clear with what they said about amperage when I was 13. What? I looked it up. It's how quick an electron goes from post to post. Its rate of spin. So, all right. Okay. So then I listened finally to I did this really cool video, and then I found and put up the Cryon channeling about this, and it is uncanny, is all I'll say. It's uncanny. So, Diane had an uncle who had a prayer, I am divinely guided. I'll always take the right path. There's one more line. Divinely guided. Let's take the right path in the road. Isn't that something? That's worth looking up. As is something that it's been piped into my brain since I left nursing school. Since I started nursing school. I'd walk the halls and I thought very curious that I was having something recited to me. And I felt the only thing I really felt compelled to do was to repeat, especially the last 4 lines. And it was like, you've got to get this, you've got to hear this, you've got to hear this. That's what it felt like, this thing that it would insert itself and then pray this. It was only like the last 4 lines, and I would just walk around a little taller, I would feel a little better. And I knew it to be true. For me. Actually, for me. I knew that to be true. But I always wondered why. Because it faded. I never really... Once in a while, the last few weeks, it's been really strong, but not like it was in nursing school. Not like it was. And that was like... I hit the ground and they were doing that to me. I got off the plane and they were doing that to me. I had to get my feet wet, but yeah. Whew, they were on me. And it always had a lower voice than mine. I'm getting it. Hold on. I did this book called A Gift of Words, Christmas of '94. I'd been working on it when I was with the teachers, you see. And I think it was a way for me to remember the great invocation from the point of light within the mind of God. Let light stream forth into the minds of all. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of all. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of all, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of humankind, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. And then I wrote below, we ask this in Christ's most holy name. Selah. That's the first page. Pretty poems. Lots of humor. And how handy Diane's uncle's prayer. Oh, wait. No, that's something else. Hold on. His back here. I'm going to get it for you. This is my favorite, most funniest comic ever done. Can you see it? Brushed with Death on Vacation. Wah, wah. I don't know why I find that so funny, but I sure do. La 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 la. It's really sweet. I always just thought, oh, I feel like I've been hugged every time I would hear that. And I at one point, made a poster of it and put it up. There have been many times when I've had to refer to it. I think it's toward the back, which is really great. Ha! This is the prayer that Diane and I would always say, and I need to say it to you guys. It's beautiful. One of the most powerful healing prayers available From the Brotherhood of Angels and Men, Hodson, Hodson. It's called Healing Angels. This is dedicated to Diane. Hail, divas of the healing art, come to our aid. Pour forth your healing life into this place or person. Let every cell be charged anew with vital force. To every nerve give peace. Let tortured sense be soothed. May the rising tide of life set every limb aglow as, by your healing power, both soul and body are restored. Leave here and leave there an angel watcher to comfort and protect till health returns or life departs, that he may ward away all ill, may hasten the returning strength, or lead to peace when life is done. Hail, divas of the healing art, come to our aid, and share with us the labors of this earth, that God may be set free in man. And there's a bunch of Latin, and there's a picture of Divine, and there's a book of really cool things from the Keys of Enoch. Oh, the Christ in me honors the Christ in you. That's the lesser invocation. The great invocation is the first. The lesser is the Christ in me honors the Christ in you. Of course, the Lord's Prayer is very powerful, and it's highly coded. Highly. I mean, you pray that right, and you are in the stratosphere, man. That is frickin' coded. But this is the one that kept coming to me. And then I'm certain I'll keep spinning, and I'll find Diane's uncle's prayer, and we'll be complete with this transmission. But clearly this was something that, well, it needed to be said, I guess. Then we'll get done with this, and I'm going to channel the teachers, Mama, whatever the heck you want to call it, the council, the all, the one, which is you, truly, and me. Psalm 23. A psalm of David. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. And this is what they would always repeat to me those first few months, and then all through. Thou anointest my head with oil. My cup runneth over. And then the last 4 lines. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. That's what would come again and again and again and again. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Boy, oh my God. Here it is. See, I told you. Okay, Diane's uncle. It's under footprints in the sand, and then as above, so below, as within, so without. The next thing down is faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. So, we're going to end this transmission, which I consider this a channeling, dear one. A review. This is what I have had to put on my rearview mirror. Well, I'll never get that bad, but up. And I have read it, and I have tried to memorize it, but of course, I haven't achieved that particular goal quite yet. I believe I am always divinely guided. I believe I will always take the right turn of the road. I believe God will make a way where there is no way. That's what Diane gave me. So, thank you, Diane. So I know how I'm going to end. I do want to show you this. This always really got me, because they told me it's like that up there. There's people ringed, souls ringing the earth, wanting to get in, if only for 30 seconds, just to have the honor of being part of this in any kind of physical way. So if you've lost a baby recently, I don't think you should sweat it. Everything is really as it should be, and that could be someone who needed, and maybe they needed the experience of physical death, and maybe they needed the experience of giving you something that would break your heart and tear you open and make you wonder if there was such a thing as God. And is that so bad? I mean, in the end, couldn't that be the greatest gift of all? To have someone love you so much they're willing to break your heart. They're willing to break your mind. They're willing to break your soul because you asked them to. Only you, someone this big, someone this pure, only you I will allow to assist in my annihilation, because I know what it's going to mean for me. So please, do it well. Do it with passion. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. Please, 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 please. And then that soul says, thy will be done. And then we come down here and play out these dramas to get to the place where we realize that maybe we all just do love each other in the end. And maybe we can break the spell if we can just remember. Maybe. Maybe. And maybe not. Because the spell is thick and it's physical. And this is all made up, right? But I can tell you that there have been physical changes, baby. And I've made a few decrees. They're not demands. Who am I demanding what from? No, they're decrees of how it's now going to be. Because it's my preference. And I am able to, as Enrique Boron so jauntily said, well, someone said, what happens when you've broken all your codes? What happens when there is no biological coding? And he related the story of the fetus. And then he went, well, really like he's got a, it's a knowing smile. It's a wink almost. Well, then you get to choose. It seems really simple. Oh, well, I'll choose a salmon-colored purse instead of the pea green colored purse then. No, it's not like that. But it's stair-step realizations. So that's pretty. But I put in here, I think the very last thing the end page is let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me, which of course is the, not the benediction, but is it the benediction? The invocation at Mile High. So it's like, you guys don't know this is the only song I memorized on the piano. It's the only song that's pretty enough to memorize because it says the truth. So thank you. It's so pretty. But anyhow, then there's the the angels saying, oh golly, and I'm sitting here going, I wish I was dead. This fucking sucks. And the teachers would go, do you have any idea what you're saying? And I'd say, do you have any idea how hard this is? Back off, bitch. And basically, energetically. But more it was like, because it just hurt. Everything hurt. It just hurt all the time. It was like ground glass in my soul to be here. And it didn't have to be. But, yeah. You listen to that parable of woe. You'll understand. And I don't ever leave meditation. I'm always there. Just always. It's great. I dig it. But I have a feeling that Grandma might have placed this here so that I would stop talking quite so much and let her come through. It's my guess. I don't know. An ancient prayer. You know what? If you guys have been following along, you know that I had a meditation where Jesus came to me. I asked him to come and help me and soothe me, and then he said, "Oh, I know why you're so sad. I know." And then boop 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 boop, all these Jesuses were like around the kitchen island and down the stairs and up the stairs and at the table, and he looked at me and said, "You get so sad because you forget that I'm in everyone." And I could feel it for a moment. Oh, I'm in everyone. So I do want to read this in honor of my sweet brother and so much more. And then we're going to close with an ancient prayer, which I have a guess might actually be ancient, but we'll see. The prayer of St. Patrick. I wrote a book called Patrick Hears Voices. I arise today through God's strength to pilot me, God's might to uphold me, God's wisdom to guide me, God's eye to look before me, God's ear to hear me, God's word to speak for me, God's hand to guard me, God's way to lie before me, God's shield to protect me. Christ be with me, Christ before me, Christ behind me, Christ in me, Christ beneath me, Christ above me, Christ on my right, Christ on my left, Christ when I lie down, Christ when I sit down, Christ when I arise, Christ in the mouth of everyone who speaks of me, Christ in every eye that sees me, Christ in every ear that hears me. Isn't that pretty? It makes it hard to misbehave when you're praying that once a day, I'll tell you. And I haven't for quite some time. Anyway, we're going to close with this, an ancient prayer. God be in my head and in my understanding. God be in mine eyes and in my looking. God be in my mouth and in my speaking. God be in my heart and in my thinking. God be at mine end and at my departing. Ooh, I'm getting all cheated. They sure want to come through. And I think that this has been a marvelous gift for those who are curious. And I certainly have been. And every time I can get to the place where things congeal and I can see a reason for it, and it's like all benevolent, well, then I like to shout it from the rooftops, baby. That's part of my job. And I love you. That's my job, too.